Hello everyone and welcome back to Whisky Wednesday. Today we are talking about this wonderful bottle from the folks at Keeper's Heart. Now what is Keeper's Heart? Keeper's Heart is an Irish whiskey brand. They do Irish whiskey, they do Irish and American sort of combination whiskies. This is one of those combination whiskies. This is 53% Irish whiskey with 47% American rye. That particular rye is of a 95% mash bill, so it's particularly high. They also produce their own single malts, their own single pot still stuff. We'll be talking about those in some other episodes. This has been put together by Brian Nation, who at one point was the mastermind behind Middleton, and Middleton Very Rare, I think up until 2020. So here we have it in the glass. Quite a classic kind of whiskey colour. And I did a little thing about this whiskey on TikTok and Instagram the other day because it's a wonderful, summery, clean style of whiskey, as most Irish whiskey does tend to be anyway, but you've got the addition of this American rye content now. American rye, any rye really, it's a style of whiskey where it can be a little bit divisive, it can be really intense. Some people really don't like it. I'm a fan of it myself, but I can totally get why some people wouldn't like it. It can be really spicy, it can be quite minty, it can be very over the top, but we're not looking to do anything like that with this. This is a wonderfully balanced selection of those styles. So let's have a little smell, let's have a little taste and see what Keeper's Heart is saying. You have to forgive the licking in the background, that's the sound of my dog. So we get a couple of key things with this. It's got these really beautiful like baked apple, baked pastry notes. There's loads of just kind of fresh bakery things going on with it. It's a little bit buttery as well. And then you've got this really nice kind of tropical fruit notes to it. We've got pineapple, we've got mango, we've got loads of other stuff happening in the middle. It does remind me a little bit of Green Spot. Now this is bottled at 43%. I'm going to assume it's probably not natural colour, and with it being below 46, we can assume it is chill filtered. But it just has this like Green Spot whiskey, but it's just turned up a little bit, without being as expensive as something like Yellow Spot, because this is only coming in America, I think, at about $33. It's not actually for sale in the UK yet, but you know, a lot of our viewership is American, so there we go. The rye thing. Rye doesn't tend to give you tropical notes. It can, but it's not something it's particularly known for. But I will say the rye in this, it's providing you with this sort of like very gentle mintiness. There's almost like a leathery kind of tobacco note to it, which does contrast the intensity of these sort of like papaya-y, kiwi, tropical notes. Let's taste it and see what's going on. It's gentle, it's sweet, it's super easy going. It does give you this kind of tickle of rye, this tickle of spice. There's a couple of flavours occurring in this where if you gave this to me blind, I would probably say it drinks like certainly a younger Irish whiskey, but not necessarily something that has, what, 47% rye content in it? And that rye is a 95% rye mash bill. That's really high. You know, you think of 95% rye mash bills, that's things like bullet rye, and those are really in your face, quite potent styles of rye whiskey. But this, you get those sweet fruits, it's candied, it's caramelly, it's quite approachable. And then underneath it is just this kind of ripple of soft spice. It's like a bit nutmeg driven, it's kind of cinnamony, which works really well with all these sort of tropical fruit, pastry, buttery notes. Nice gentle finish. Like I say, it's not expensive, it's not the highest ABV thing in the world, but I really dig this. Like, I've drank quite a lot of this bottle. And there's also another release, which we'll be talking about next week, which is a 10-year-old version, which is just an Irish single malt, which is, in my opinion, even better. But this is delicious. I think this is like up there with things like Green Spot on those single pot still styles. And it feels like an upgrade without spending the excess money. In fact, I think this works out to be cheaper than a bottle of Green Spot in general. But yeah, I really like this thing. That's a solid 8 out of 10 from me. And that is Keeper's Heart Irish and American whiskey. But I will see you all next week for the 10-year-old review. Cheers.